Happy Q&A Wednesday. This is Dawn Connors. The question of the week is, what is an escrow account and what does it do for you? So an escrow account is a bank account that holds funds in a third-party account so that it can be unbiased and executed according to the terms of the agreement. So let's talk a little bit more about that. For example, the number one reason why an escrow account is used is for what's called an earnest money deposit. When a buyer puts an offer on a house, typically they will give money in good faith, saying that they want to buy that house, and they'll give a deposit somewhere between $1,000 and usually $10,000. And when they do that, that money is held usually by a title company, by a third party, unbiased figure in the transaction, and their job is to execute that requirements, if this, then that, if that, then this, according to what is wanted according to the purchase agreement. So they hold the money. Typically a title company holds it, although a real estate agent can hold it as well. I know that this is true in Florida, Texas, Michigan, and in some states that have attorney required closings, then the attorney's office will hold it. So this escrow money is held by a third party. The second reason an escrow account is used is for, say, rent money. So let's say the sellers, after you close, are going to continue to live in the house for 30 days or 45 days, and money is set aside for damages and for rent. That money is also held in that escrow account, and it will just execute according to the terms that is in the agreement. So if it says $30 a day up to $900 a month, then the seller stays 15 days. Then the buyer, after everything is signed off and the agreement is signed off on, and the seller moves out, then the buyer will get their check for $450, and the remaining money of $450 would go back to the seller. So they just execute it according to the terms of the agreement, and it is according to the contract, and they're the neutral third party. Another time that I've seen an escrow account used is just recently. I have a client who's buying a home with a septic field, and the septic field has not been used in more than 30 days. And in Macomb County, Michigan, what happens is if a seller moves out, all septic fields have to be tested. And so it can't be tested for 30 days because they want that septic field, that septic tank, that septic field being used. So we have to wait until the buyers move in, have been in for 30 days, and then the county will come out and test the field to make sure that everything is good. Well, what if everything is not good? What if there's repairs that are needed? What if there's a new field that's needed? What if there's a tank that needs to be drained out? So for that reason, a $10,000 seller, they've agreed to hold $10,000 of the seller's money in this escrow account, in this non-interest bearing account that is held as by the third party in the bank account on the behalf of the buyer and the seller, so that everything is executed after the closing. And then if there's any money that's needed to do repairs, that'll be paid out. The buyers will take care of that and have those hired out. And if there's nothing that needs to be repaid out, then the sellers will receive all $10,000 or a portion of their money back, depending on what repairs are needed. So that's a third way that an escrow account is used from the time of the purchase agreement through the closing. The last and final reason that an escrow account is used comes after the closing. So if you pay anything in addition to your mortgage payment, so your mortgage payment itself is your principal and interest payment. And if you also have taxes, insurance, and any PMI insurance included in your loan, that's called a PITI payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Well, those taxes and insurance are typically due 1 to 2 times a year. In a lot of municipalities, they're due in July and December, and in some states, they're due just in July. The same thing with your homeowner's insurance. Every anniversary, you're going to have homeowner's insurance due again. And so monthly, your payment is collected with taxes and insurance being a portion of your payment for 12 months of the year. So we set aside 1/12 of taxes, 1/12 of insurance, and it's collected. Well, where does that money go? A lot of people think that that is set up in an account, the bank gets it, and they get to get interest on your money. But that is not true. That is not the case. They have to put the money in a non-interest bearing account that's typically held by the servicer, and it's a third party, unbiased party that holds this money. And then from there, as the taxes come due, they pay out the taxes and do a reconciliation report to you at least once a year, telling you what is happening with your money. This went out to pay this went out to pay this. It's anticipated that we have too much money, so here's a check. Or it's anticipated that there's going to be a shortage because taxes have increased and we're going to increase your payment. So that's a reconciliation that's done annually. So that is another reason and another way that an escrow account is used after closing to direct out your taxes and your insurance as they come due. But remember, it's a non-interest bearing account. So a lot of times it's a lot easier having an escrow account because then you don't have to worry about that large summer tax bill that has come due or forget to pay your homeowner's insurance. And then you're really up a creek when something happens to your house and you don't have the proper insurance. So thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, please share it out. I really wanted to create something that explained what an escrow account was from start to finish, from purchase agreement all the way through after the closing. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day.